I really love that first bit where you're just about to cast, you don't really know what to expect. So we're here and we're chasing these rays. Every spring they come onto the flat sandy beaches of Kent to breed, but hopefully also to feed as well. Females are slightly bigger than the males around here, and they're the ones we'll be chasing. You can see the water conditions, it is quite calm. We've had a good southwesterly blow. We're keen to get these baits in the water. So you can see the sort of beach that we're fishing over today. It's quite flat and sandy there, and we're going to have to be tracking back with the tide as the tide goes back. And then to cast, we've got the waders on, we're going to wade out there. So it's going to be an overhead thump, but we'll be out in about 3 foot of water. Yeah, looking good. Quite keen to get going. I'd imagine we're going to be walking back with this quite a bit. So we're going to move out and cast. We'll go and move out and cast in a minute. Back to the wind. We'll keep it quite nice and high. I'm going to use the cups today. Don't tend to do that on the shingle beaches of East Sussex so much. Here we've headed east to chase these thornback ray. Now I really don't know if we're going to get one. They are quite a desirable species to catch for me. I've even had dreams, and in my sleep I'm seeing thornback rays in the shallow water. We've got some bluey and some mackerel. I'll show you the rigs in a minute. Stay tuned, because I've no idea if I'm going to catch one. So as usual, the two rods, Continental and the more traditional Daiwa Kenzaki. So the light's falling down. We will be fishing in tonight. We will lose the light midway through this session, but what I'm really hoping is to show as much as I can during daylight, and then you'll be able to see where we're fishing here. Always give those a little bit of a wipe. Okay, both with fixed spools today. So these two fixed spools today, Sonic AVX and the older Penn Surf Blaster 2. You notice that the Surf Blaster 2 hasn't got any leader on it. This is a tapered leader on this rod here. The Surf Blaster though, I'm using 50-pound line straight through. You can get into all sorts of problems at night with leaders. Just wanted to give myself another option with that Penn Surf Blaster. So it's all pulley rigs today. I've got a couple of pulley panels, but most of them are 2.0 or 3.0 pulley panels. And what I've done, I've just kept the bait in there, especially when you're fishing at night. I've got 8 rigs made up, all with the bait strapped on with the bait elastic. I think that just saves us a little bit of time messing around. The only difference, of course, is if they start taking bigger baits or smaller baits, then I'll have to readjust it. So bluey on there, and a little bit of mackerel as well. You can see there's pulley panel on this one. Even though you do wrap them, they always need a little bit more just before you cast. Right. We're going to hit this with the braid. This is the Colmic Luna. You'll see what I mean about the wading, because if you hit it from the beach here, I know that I need a few more extra yards. Rod tip high and get dragged into the sand and walk all the way back. I was thinking about bringing a kayak down here. Might be a place just drifting around for them. It needs to be a bit calmer though. You'll be fishing over 6 foot of water. Okay, all I'm doing is get in contact with that lead. And we're in. remember roughly where I parked my bait. Got to remember roughly where I cast that bait. Don't want to be swapping over lines. I think that tide is just starting to push. I've been successful with the first bait, which is not to have any holes in the waders. Cast to the left of the other one. It's going to get a lot trickier as the sun goes down, but it is quite flat underfoot here. Quite a small bait for thornback, but I have thought about it and I've missed fish with those bigger hooks. Sit on a bigger bait and then walk back again. It's lovely. A good thing with these adjustable reel seats, just going to bring that back a tad, give me a little bit more rod power. Well, I've got one on now. Try and get into the water for the release. There we go. Can you see it coming now? There she comes. Oh, not a big fish. We do have one. A small one, about 3 pound probably. Incredible looking things, aren't they? Look at that. And this is only a small one. Maybe as it gets dark we'll pick up something a bit better. We'll get it unhooked. Well, only a little one, but it is a thornback ray, so we've got what we've come for. We've got the underside there. You can see that that's the female fish. There you go, thornback ray, lovely. They are actually a member of the shark family. That should swim off all right. I'm going to wrap another one up. I think if they're there, I don't worry too much about the bait. I've always said you need, I haven't always said, why am I saying that? I've figured out, I think the 3.0, 4.0 hooks can lead to a few missed bites, but I'm not that experienced with these rays to be able to say that yet, but we will persevere with the 2.0s once that bait reduces down a little bit. So we'll swing this one out. The tide is coming in. They're not the biggest of tides, so I'm not expecting it to come racing in too much. But there's a little bank here, you can see where the waves are breaking. If I can get a little bit further, I should be able to put that in to some other water up here. Let's give that a go. And then of course, with these fixed balls, when you're moving the rod rest, you can just loosen off the drag like that, or just remember to tighten it back up when you cast. I tend to just hold it in my hand and feel where that rod is. I can feel where the lead is into the sand. There we are. Yeah, coming in. That was a good old rattle, wasn't it? Let's see if we can get in contact. Try and get it into some water here. It's up. Sometimes they suck into the bait. But I know this is on the braid and on the Continental. That gave a hell of a rattle. I'm only keeping that rod tip low so you can see it. So I'll just move it up a bit. Just want to keep his nose up, her nose up hopefully. Just keeping in contact. Well, just as the light goes down, I did want to show you this before we lost the light. I love that bit as well where you get first sight of it. And actually I'm going to walk in a little bit because I want to get to this quite quickly. The tide's coming in and it's almost nightfall. I want all the gear ready to go for night before we lose the light. Here we are. Come on. Yeah. Caught in a wave there. You can drag it back and walk backwards a little bit. Yeah, this feels heavier, but I could be dragging my other rod with in as well. Oh, something lovely. That's good. I think this is quite good actually. Let's just walk backwards. Don't want this pinging off. Well, maybe I was getting a bit too excited. Another little one. Just slightly better hooked. So there we go, got those thorns there, and that's exactly how they sit, waiting for the food. Look at that. Right, let's get you unhooked, matey. A little bit heavier maybe. Just need to, because the tide's moving, I need to just get back. Should really support the weight of them. So you can hold them like that. So hold them like that. It's the other way of doing it. Or support underneath. And this one's actually got thorns on the underside as well. It's ripping into me. But you see it's got the thorns there. That does happen, it's quite unusual around here. And you can tell whether it's male or female by the claspers. The males have big long claspers. You can use pliers, but I'm just gonna, they do, gotta watch your thumb in there. These things will smash a hardback crab, so there we go. Let's put this one back. Just got my arm underneath it. I can pull them up there. Three good thornback rays before it's even dark. Just started to get the lights on now. And it's a really interesting time. I think as soon as it gets dark, the idea is those rays go on the feed under the cover of darkness, and hopefully those bigger females are more active as well this time of year. They've done their breeding in the afternoon and they're off to eat. That's my theory. Anyway, we'll see. We'll put some lights on this in a minute and hope for that lovely little knock on the rod tip. So I just wanted to talk about the sponsors of today's video, Skillshare. And if you don't know, Skillshare are an online learning community full of thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in your creativity. But Skillshare is really good. Well, as you may know, I've been doing some of the Marcus Brownlee classes for YouTube success. It's really helping me, especially these small bite-sized learning chunks that they do. Makes it so much easier to enjoy the content. And they're always creating new premium content, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. So the first 1,000 of my subscribers that click on the link below will receive a month of Skillshare. As I said before, they do sometimes suck the bait down. You take a good look at that. You take a look at that rod tip now. It's not like you're even like a whiting rattle, is it? It could just have that bait to itself, being surrounded by others. I think we'll go out and have a little closer look at that. It's a constant battle of bringing that rod rest back, so I'll bring that back even further and we'll check that rod. So it did look like there was a fish on there. The thing is, if I get distracted playing a decent fish, I'm going to come back and these rods will be underwater. So I have to bring it all the way back. The main problem here is obviously that little groin, and actually there isn't anything on here, so I'm going to leave that because I never know, it might come back. It sounds a bit like Homer Simpson, doesn't it? He'll be back. They really are a fascinating creature, the ray, and they do come onto these beaches in spring to breed. I hope one day to get a really big one. He's ready baited, ready to go is really important. I've made that mistake before trying to make up baits. That's the second one I've had snap off. I think I was snagged, but it could have been. Right, lucky we got those rigs ready to go. Okay, so this is what I was saying about earlier, coming out when it's dark. At least you know what's under your feet. Just got to be careful. It's quite calm here. I wouldn't actually fish this venue. I wouldn't fish this venue if it was rough. One, I think the rays don't like it. Can't find the baits, but also you'll be knocked off your feet here. So head out here. Try and put a little bit more distance between the two rods now. Oh, that was a wave. I think that went a decent amount. And I'll walk it back. What do you reckon? Thing is, the surf's picked up right in front of us. It's very easy for that. I don't know. Ah, yeah, that's a bite. There we go. A bit of a novice filming in the dark. Can you see that though? I need to take some tips from the Eastbourne angler. Jason's always fishing at night. So I think I'll feel what's going on with that rod before we lose the rod resting again in the surf down there. Look at that. It's just hitting a harbour wall here. going to pick up this rod now. We are getting little inquiries. Now this is on the Kenzaki, so I'd imagine it seems well hooked. I think this is a better fish again. A better one. Oh, the first time in a while my arm's aching from fishing. Come on. Oh yes. I have been known to shake them off in this surf. I'm going to go down, see if I can snatch it. Ooh. Come on, you beauty. Splatted as this water hits the water. Wait. I don't know if it's picking this up in the dark, but I'm having a lot of fun. This could be a 6-7 pounder. Oh. Of course I cast out and before the tide came in, so I've got to bring it back a hell of a way. We're going to see it at the last minute in these conditions. It's going down tide, so ah, yeah, that is a bigger fish. Yeah. Yeah, now that's half decent. Clasp was on it. Not bad at all, is it? Bloody great thing. Look at that. I don't know. Weight wise, 6 pound. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a biggie. That's a male. See there? Claspers. Breeding season, we'll put it.
And if you want to see a fish that grows to similar size, check out this video here. This is a 12-pound bass caught on a lure. A similar location down here. Well, I really enjoyed fishing for these thornback roe today. I had some great fun. I hope you enjoyed the video.